Want to know how I added designer quality icons to my Kajabi site for free? In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I did that step by step. All right, let's get started. Before we dive into how to get and add these icons, let's talk about why they're so powerful in web design. Icons boost readability and make content easier to scan because let's be real, people skim websites fast. Think of icons like visual road signs guiding visitors to key info at a glance. They also add personality. So if you want a sleek, high-end feel, you can add thin, minimalist icons. If you want something fun and bold, you could go with thicker lines and use more colorful or playful designs. And here's a big one. Great web design makes long content feel effortless to read. Using a section with icons helps break up text, creating a visually distinct section that feels engaging instead of overwhelming. So it's a great tool in your pocket and also a quick way to differentiate yourself and what your brand or your program has to offer. All right, 3 quick examples that I want to show you. Here's how I use icons on my site. Now you can imagine that just having all of this text one after another would be confusing. It breaks it up into smaller chunks. It allows you to kind of scan and get what you need while adding a playful element and allowing it to be visual rather than just words. Here's one by Taking Care of Babies. She does courses on baby sleep, and this has a very different format, and yet you can see it creates a section that breaks up text and creates brand differentiators and shows why her courses work through these little icon sections. Here's one from Boss Babe that breaks up the different results you can expect through taking her programs or courses. It adds color, which adds more personality, and you can see how it adds even brand personality through the types of custom icons that she uses. And then lastly, here is bar definition, and you can see that she uses them to point out kind of what you get with her program. And if it didn't have these, it definitely would not have as much interest on the page. It makes you feel like it's an easier read because those icons are there. All right, okay, now that I've shown you some examples and how it can be used and why it's an effective way to use, let's jump in on how to get those icons and add them to your site. All right, we're gonna start by going to fonts.google.com. And instead of jumping into Google Fonts, we're gonna go under icons. Now, a quick note about usability rights. If you're using these icons on your website or project, good news is you can use them for free for both personal and commercial projects under this Google license. Just make sure to give proper credit and include a link to the license. If you tweak or modify the icons for any reason, you'll also need to note that. Now, obviously, I'm not a lawyer, so if you want to dive into the full legal details, you can check out the license for yourself, and I'll provide a link in the description. And if you're wondering, how do I credit these icons? Here's a pro tip. Just add this text or this shorter text in your privacy policy or terms of use page. That's it. And I'll make those available in the description as well. So now you just need to find the icons that you want to use. So you can see that there are a lot of different icons that Google has created. And there's some really creative and fun ways that you can use these icons if you're open to thinking outside of the box. So for example, celebration, like this one could be used for so many different things. So you can just go through and look one by one and kind of scan through. You can also go by activities and see what comes up as you search through. Here's one on communications and find what you need. For this, I'm just going to show you my own. I've already looked some up that I want to use. So I'm going to add this watch. And now I'm going to change the size to 100 because I'm going to download it as a JPEG. And now I'm going to grab the color that I want to use. So for this, I am going to use this sales page for this pretend course on sourdough. And it's part of a training that I have on how to use ChatGPT to make really good sales copy. So if you're interested in that, I'll stick that in the description as well. But we're going to add it to the sales page so you can see one of the ways that you can tangibly use icons. All right, so I'm in the back end of this sales page in this template that I'm creating called the Claire template. So I'm just going to grab one of the colors I used, and I think I'm going to use this green color. So if we go up, here it is in the background. So I'm going to go to my background and I'm just going to grab this color. So you want to grab the hex code of whatever color you want your icons to be. And then we're going to stick that in here, add my little hashtag, and then I'm actually going to change the weight of this icon. So I like it to be at like a 200 weight. I feel like it's really clean, really modern that way. And then I'm just going to download it as a PNG. For Kajabi, I just find PNGs easier to work with. So then I'm going to grab the other 2 that I want to use. So I'm going to use this one, and then you can see it already has the size, the font weight, and the color when I open up this new one. So I'm going to download that as a PNG, and then this fun little cheer download that. All right, sweet. Now we're going to go back into Kajabi. The next thing that I'm going to want to do is duplicate one of my sections. And obviously I could create a section from scratch, but I'm just going to duplicate it to get this title font in the same size and weight and just make it easier for me to create a new design. So I'm going to come to my FAQ grid. I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm literally going to delete all of my accordions here. All right, now I'm just going to pull up my text that I want to use. All right, so I have this text for my icons. This is going to be my title. I'm going to put that in my title text. I'm going to make it 10 columns, and I'm going to open the source code just so that I can stick it in this H2 and keep the same formatting. And then I would like to make effortless baking italics just for style and emphasis. And then now I'm going to add a feature, because that gives us an image plus text, and that will work great for the icons. So I'm going to click select image, upload file. Now I'm going to drag and drop that first one here. Click save, upload file. And now I'm going to change the image size. It can be really whatever you want. I would like mine to be, I think 80 for this. Let's try that. Yeah, I like the way that looks. And then I'm going to style the text in here. So the way I'm going to do that is just find a style that I already like on the page and copy that over. So I really love how this is looking. I think it will look great. So I'm going to open the code, copy everything here so that it grabs all of the styling. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to stick it in here. And I'm then going to switch out the text again. So here's my text for the title. And then here's my text underneath. Awesome. And then what I'm going to do, because this is breaking at a weird point, is I'm going to press shift and return at the same time to do a line break. And I'm going to make this 4 columns since I'm doing 3 across. And then for styling, I'm going to turn this one into italics. And I am then going to style this with a little bit more padding underneath. So it's just not up so tight. It looks a little too close for me. So I think I'm going to do just 20 underneath. And then I'm going to copy this feature now that it has all the styling I want and the sizing that I want, and make 2 more, and then just duplicate that process with replacing the icons and replacing the text. Now we have it. For the sake of finishing up this so it looks nice, I'm just going to make sure that every block has an animation on it. So I really like fade. That feels really classy to me for this. And I'm going to click save, and then we're going to move up this right below the grid. We could rename it icon section, and then let's take a look. All right, so you can see the sales page here, and skipping down to our icons because that's the part you care about. Here we go. So beautiful, classy, clean icons that are all the same line weight, same color, same look and feel, that can cleanly and easily pull out your program differentiators or what makes you special as a brand. All right, quick recap. We just learned how to grab designer quality fonts, add them to our Kajabi pages, and style the weight and color so that it matches our brand. If this was helpful for you, then you will love the next video that I have for you, hopefully right here, about adding custom fonts to your Kajabi pages. It goes really in depth, and it's unlike any other video that I've personally seen because it explains exactly how to do that so that you have your italics and your bold fonts all loaded up properly. So if you want to take your site to the next level, you can watch that right here. And thanks for joining me. I'll see you in the next video.